The lighter side of pest control. This is Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with Jack and Nick.
Hey, welcome to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. I'm Jack and that's Nick.
Hello, beach motherfuckers.
That's right, beach motherfuckers. We got a good show for you this evening. It's worst customers ever. And I know that everybody has a story about worst customers ever. But I think I waited too long to ask people for the stories. I was going to do it yesterday, but I ended up doing it on Friday and got some stories. I'm sure I could get more. But, you know, we can always revisit worst customer ever because everybody's got a shit customer they end up having to go to monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly. So things will come up, believe me.
Oh, yeah, we'll be able to do it again.
Definitely. Awesome. But, so I understand that our buddy Sam Squinch Shit on Reddit had a good story.
Yes, he did. I'm going to go to the one that he said was the best story. All right. Being a pain in the ass in general. So he's just kind of he wrote in a couple weeks ago about the frustrations and stuff like that, tech frustrations. But I completely missed it. I didn't even realize he had wrote into it. So we're going to go ahead and do this story.
Mm-hmm.
Now this guy is a real piece of work. Before I served this guy's property, he would harass the previous tech. He'd call him on his cell phone during off hours to question his integrity about the services. And then he told our boss that the tech was harassing his wife.
Oh, boy.
So they pawned him over to me. First I arrive, ring the gate. No answer. So I look through my route notes and see that we have a gate code. So I enter the gate code, pull him, and knock on the door. No answer. So I start doing a service. A few minutes later, he comes out of his home and is angry at me for using the gate code. He tells me under no circumstances am I to use his gate code, that I'm to call him when I arrive and he'll let me in, and that I need to be careful in doing the service because he has kids and doesn't want them getting sick. Fast forward to about a year later, he had canceled and restarted our service. So I was to do a rodent, gopher, and spider service for him. I arrived 5 minutes early, call this guy up. He begins me shit for arriving 5 minutes early. He demands I arrive exactly at the time he schedules.
Oh my God! Really? Jesus Christ, dude! Fuck.
Like, dude, everything I'm doing is being done outside. I don't need to go in your home. After a few months, he has neglected to pay us. He owes nearly $700 for doing a spider spray and multiple rodent and gopher services. The office sends me out to either collect the check to continue the services or to remove our boxes. This guy tells me he sent the check in the mail, which we found out later was a complete lie. They sent me out one more time to collect our stations. I pull up, call him. He tells me he's a little bit busy, but to call him back in about 10 minutes. I wait 10 minutes. Call him back, went straight to voicemail. He ended up paying after my boss threatened to send him to collections. Then he set up a prepayment plan because he desperately wanted us to control rats and gophers. Sorry for the long okay, blah, 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 but yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a asshole customer.
Yeah, man. I can hate those assholes. Oh, you're 5 minutes early. Dude, you know, all my experiences with other services are like, you know, the cable company. We'll be there between 8 and 5. So you got to wait all fucking day for them. I mean, I'm showing up 5 minutes early, 10 minutes early. Be happy. You don't have to sit around and wait on me.
Yeah, I got a story that can lead into that. So I have a customer like that. When I first showed up to her, you know, this is after I gained this route. We had somebody else in the route for a little bit, but I show up there. She already has an attitude, already upset with things.
Lovely.
And then she's like, hey, I want you to do this thing because that's what the tech long before here came did. And I'm going through spraying and treating. She's bitching the whole time. It's going on and on and on and on and on about what the last guy did. Mm-hmm. How she didn't like that. She liked the guy before him. I'm like, okay. Getting under the service, you know, kind of get a smile on her face, everything. Come back next time. I see in the notes it says, where's shoe coverings? Cool. Grab my shoe coverings, put my I walk up to the door, start putting my shoe coverings on. She's like, I hope you have shoe covers, or you're going to have to take your shoes off because you got mud in my house.
What?
Okay. So apparently last time I was out there, I got mud in her house. And then she's talking to me, and she's talking about, and if he's listening right now, she's like talking about the young guy who came before. And I'm like, young guy? And I look through the notes later, and I'm like, he ain't no young guy, but okay. And if you know who you are listening to this, you ain't no young guy.
Except your oldness.
Yeah, accept your oldness. You're old. We still love you, but you're old. But I'm going through doing all of that. Next time I show up for a quarterly, she is pissed. I'm like, hey, how you doing today? I'd be doing better if you were here on time.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, they said you'd be here at 9 o'clock. I'm like, no, man. We said we'd be here between 9. We said we'd show up here between 9 and 10. Because that's what we do with our company. We give an hour. We don't give like the cable companies where we give you like 3 hours and then show 2 hours after that.
Right.
We give you an hour time period. The tech will be here during this and this time. And what I think had happened was she heard 9 o'clock and thought I was going to be there between 9 and 10, not show up at 9:50. But that's when I was just going to be getting out there. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man, about that. But, talk to her a little more. She was calm after that. But it's just one of those customers. Every time you see them on your schedule, you're like, I'm going to need a drink tonight.
Yeah, that's those are just asshole customers that think that I've got a customer kind of like that as one of my stories. This asshole doctor. I was going to his house, do a service, last late spring, early summer. And stink bugs were getting in and out quite a bit. And I get to his house, and this is now little bummer part here. I had lost my brother to COVID in April. And I was working, but, still kind of sore about it, as anybody would be. And this doctor's like, you don't know the stuff I've had to deal with COVID, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, sir, I kind of do. I lost my brother. Well, I don't need to hear about that. And, well, what's with these stink bugs? And I was explaining to him the habits and, how stink bugs work and how treating them, unless you spray them directly, they don't really groom themselves. So walking across a treated area isn't that effective for stink bugs. And, I get halfway through the sentence. He's like, I'd pay you to get rid of them. That's all I care about. It's kind of a dick, this condescending ass the entire service. I'm going to have to walk you through my entire house and show you because you're not the tech that was here before. Okay, show me. I can find my way around. It's not that big of a deal. And I wanted to punch this dude in the face so hard. So when I got the job done, I was civil to him, but I wasn't pleasant. Because I really was not in the mood. And got in the truck, got down the street, parked, got out of the truck, lit a cigarette, called my boss. I said, look, you are not sending me back to this house again. Because if you do, I'm going to lose my job. Because I'm going to punch this dude in the mouth twice. And his boss is like, well, maybe we'll cancel him. Maybe nobody should talk to my technicians like that. So he was really supportive about it. But he's like, look, we promise we'll never send you there again. I'm like, yep, that's fine. That's all I care about. I don't want to go to that. I'm not going to that asshole. So, not knowing what company I work for on this podcast, and not knowing the area I'm working in, if you hear me, you asshole doctor, if you open your mouth to me again, I'm going to punch you square in that cocksucking mouth of yours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's not cool. Nah. That's not cool.
I've had tons of customers like this, especially this next one. When I was down working the Baltimore area, there's a lot of people that have, dogs. But, these neighborhoods, a lot of middle-class neighborhoods, dogs fenced in backyards and everything. And most people keep their dogs in, which is fine. I still, when I go to someone's yard, I'll rattle on the gate and whistle a little bit to see if there's a doggy door. Because I'll always first go to the door, ring the doorbell. I'll hear the dog bark. So I'll go around to the gate and rattle it some to see if there's a doggy door. Because believe me, I've gotten halfway around this massive-ass house and had these 2 dogs come out the doggy door wanting to eat me. So, but that's not what I'm getting at, is I had customers that were complaining about flies when they're out back on their patio trying to have a cookout. But if you look at their backyard, there's more dog shit than there is grass.
Yeah.
And the grass is yellow from all the piss that's just killed the grass and the dog shit. And the place in the summer, it smells like a septic tank. Mm-hmm. And they're wondering where the flies are coming from and expecting me to do something about it. But what the hell do you want from me?
Yeah, you should just use a chemical. That's all we want. It's just chemical.
Right.
Don't tell us to clean.
You fix it. Now, conversely, there was a guy up here in Pennsylvania that he had a beautiful house, well-kept yard, no animal. But his property backed up to a farm and, flies and manure and stuff. So I told him about those fly bags, that you don't put them things up close to your home because they smell horrible. But I told him, I said, put them on the 2 back corners of your property adjacent to this farm. And man, watch, them things will fill up fast. And the next time I went to see him, he's like, man, I haven't had one single fly since I put those fly bags up. And I said, let's walk down and take a look at them. And man, they were full. But they work. Mm-hmm. Them fly bags are great. You just can't have them up close to your house because if the wind blows in your direction, oh my God, them things it smells like death. Yeah. But they work well. We have about 3 submissions from Facebook. Did you want to me do those, or did you want to? Did you have some that you want to go over?
Oh, I had a couple more stories.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Actually, I'd already go over. Okay, so I do have one where I had a customer that I'm not going back out to anymore. Show up to do the service, little crappy trailer, knock on the door. Hello, here to do your service today. It's one of those services they don't pay for personally. Knock on the door, pest control, nothing. So I start walking on the steps, and I hear the door open. Young guy comes, you can come inside. Okay, cool. So I start spraying around, all of that. Y'all been saying stuff. No, not really, blah, 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 blah. That bedroom right there, y'all want me to go in there and treat? Nah, it's okay. Okay, cool. So I treat the outside, hop back in the truck. Then I hear somebody yelling at me. I'm like, yes, ma'am? You need to get the fuck back in here. We got roaches everywhere. You better get fuck back in this house. You didn't fucking spray in here in my bedroom. You didn't spray in the bathroom. I don't even know if you sprayed in the kitchen. I'm like, I'm calm at first. I'm not having the greatest day. It's one of those days where you're just already kind of agitated. You just have those days sometimes. Yes, ma'am, no problem. I'll come back and spray the bedroom. Mm-hmm. Spray your bedroom. Start grabbing my B&G. You better get the fuck back in here. I'll call your fucking boss on you. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, you say you're gonna call my boss. You're cussing at me. I am fine if you get agitated with me, but when you start using colorful language with me, that's when I'm like, all right, that's when my blood starts to boil. And I was just like, you know what? No, ma'am. We'll get somebody else out here. Have a great day. And I get in the truck, and as I'm pulling out, she's still yelling and cussing at me, sinking her finger at me. And I get down the road a little bit, pull over, call my office, and say, y'all are sending me out there again.
Yeah.
That was, I understand if she's frustrated, she's having issues, and I just didn't notice the issues. And I'll be honest, I didn't look as much as I should have, and I've gotten better about it. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going back out there.
No,
blah, blah, blah.
If you're going to talk to me like that, you can eat a dick. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll call my boss.
Eat some ass, eat some shit. So when I drove down to the gas station, got me a Black and Mild, and smoked the whole damn thing. And I usually don't suck down Black and Milds like that, but I was so mad. I was just like,
oh yeah, your nerves are just high strung at the time. I had something like that happen. I'm like, no, that's okay. I'll call them right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I called my boss and I held the phone up. I'm like, "You hear this?" He's like, "Yeah, leave."
Yeah, no. When you start using language like that with your tech, that's just, I don't treat you